In this video, I want to discuss social change and how it affects the physical environment, population, values and norms, innovation, diffusion, and mass media. I will also be looking at the information revolution and how it has affected our culture today and how it will affect our future. Also, I want to look at modernization and how it affects underdeveloped nations. Finally, I will examine social movements that have occurred in history and explain why these events have occurred. To start out this video, I want to give a definition of social change. According to Hughes and Kroller, they describe social change as the fundamental alterations in the patterns of culture, structure, and social behavior over time. Social change has affected our environment in several ways. In the past, individuals mostly lived on farms. Now, most people live in the cities where they can find work. This change in the physical environment has to do with the culture today. The population has also increased because of what is happening today. Americans are now living longer lives and are healthier, which causes the population to rise. Also, people from other countries are coming to America. Norms and values also cause our society to change. Norms and values tell us what is acceptable and what is not. A good example of this can be seen in the divorce rates in the United States. At one point in the United States, it was deemed unacceptable to divorce one's partner. Now, it is a very common practice. In fact, statistics show that there is little difference in divorce rates between churchgoers and non-churchgoers. According to Hughes and Kroller, invention uses existing knowledge in some novel form. A social change that has pushed certain inventions is the space age that we live in today. New inventions such as the Hubble telescope are used today in order to discover the vast universe in which we live. According to Hughes, diffusion is the process by which cultural traits spread from one social unit to another. Diffusion is the process where we acknowledge other countries and what they have done. For example, have you ever gone to the store and looked at a product? Have you ever looked at where it comes from? You will find that most products do not come from the United States, but come from all over the world. Finally, mass media is part of a social change because it affects how we look at different things. It changes our culture with new ideas of what is good and what is not. The information revolution today refers to how we have so much information available to us. For example, any person can go on the web and search for anything to find an answer. We are bombarded with tons of information every day. So how does this affect us today? I believe that this revolution causes us to have communication difficulties. Individuals are often way too busy on their social mobile or doing other things to notice people who are around them. So how will social media affect our future? I would say that it's going to make relationships even tougher. I believe that social media separates us. It may bring us closer together in that we can have a Skype call and see a friend who is in another country, but at the same time, it does not produce deep relationships that face-to-face encounters do. The information revolution will bring about change in culture and ideas, and what is valuable and what is not. So, how has modernization changed other countries? According to Hughes and Kroller, modernization is the process by which a society moves from traditional to more advanced society. There are some benefits to modernization, such as speed and accuracy of population. Another benefit to modernization is communication. People from all over the world are able to communicate with new technology. There are some disadvantages, though. The first disadvantage is that our physical environment has been changed. For example, to make way for factories and buildings, trees and other resources have been cut down. Also, whole cultures and people groups are lost. They lose their own uniqueness as they blend into the modern culture. Whole languages are even lost as traditional ways of life have been left behind. Several social movements have occurred in history, including the American Revolution, where individuals came together to fight off tyranny. Social movements aim to change society. There are different kinds, 4 types to be exact. The first one is called revolutionary movements. According to Hughes and Kroller, this is where movements replace pre-existing structure. So a good example of this would be the American Revolution or French Revolution. This is where individuals, removed structures to make way for something new. The second movement is called reform movement. This is when people want to reform pre-existing structure. A good example of this would be the civil rights movement with the leadership of Martin Luther King, who had a reform emphasis. A resistant movement occurs when one tries to block change. A good example of this would be the Ku Klux Klan. Finally, an expressive movement is one that wants to renew the people from within. A good example would be Pentecostal and holiness religious groups. According to Hughes and Kroller, their goal is to save individuals from a world that is becoming progressively oppressive. Thank you for watching.